You know how I am a nerd about comedy? Comedy is art, da 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 da. I'm like that with video games. I worked at Gamestop in high school.
Copy that.
I think what hurts the most is like seeing the commercialization really hit a peak while I'm in it. The gaming industry felt super artistic as a whole up until that moment.
But you can't say GTA just turning out sequels when it's been 10 years since GTA 5.
You kind of don't need to turn out sequels anymore when you created GTA Online. Sony's still like a megalith, but they're Japanese, so they have that like respect for, we make a video game art. I apologize, Japanese. We were talking about this before.
Yeah, you want to get into it?
No, like a little bit, but it's like, yeah, I made the joke, but you obviously already knew. I'm like, yeah, you realize I don't really like most comics. Like, they're not that good. Like, it's because most, like, when you're not really, I don't really want to loop back to the Anthony Jeselnik thing.
Okay.
But I did end up watching that full pot. Like, I watched it fully. It felt like I was listening to a recording I had left laying around that I forgot. That's like, it resonated. You've heard me say all those things.
Yeah.
Like, it just resonated with me and made me know, okay, I'm not an alien about what I'm feeling and recognizing. It's just nobody's really being vocal about it. Mm-hmm. And that to me is like the antithesis of comedy, because what we all do, like the whole thing of comedy, I think what hurts the most is like, you know, seeing the commercialization really hit a peak, you know, while I'm in it. That's what hurt. Because I got to see like comedians really thrive while just being comedians. And I fell in love with comedy. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, everything evolves and social media and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. Even technology. You know, to the point where, like, what I fell in love with is an android now. It's turned into a fucking robot.
Oh, okay.
Like, I love the original natural state of comedy.
Yeah.
Not the content creation, clickbait.
Yeah. So you don't like the Android version of it, is what you're saying.
No, that's why you've been hearing me.
I know, but you said you fell in love with the Android.
No.
That's what I heard.
Well, you heard wrong. Yeah,
did.
I'll play
That's
it back.
why I'm
I'm going to run this back. Yeah, you
no,
yeah,
but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Like, that's
what you had fell in love with is now an Android.
Yeah, and you know, I think I would have even been okay with whatever comedy had morphed into had it stayed natural. I think about this too. Because comedy, what I fell in love with had evolved from like Richard Pryor, which had evolved from like Dick Gregory, which had evolved from Sanford, like Red Fox. Like, I have all these things around me. Like, I know the evolution of this shit, which had evolved from like literally the minstrel shows. You know what I mean? So, and all that, like, you know, vaudeville. I love that. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to have been a part of that natural evolution of things, but once they friggin' fuel injected technology, and maybe I can relate this in another way, like video games.
Okay.
I think I can relate this perfectly because I'm a nerd for video games. Sorry, but I can definitely say I'm a nerd for. I grew up a nerd for video games, bro. Okay. There's an N64 on my set. Yes. I damn near have like 60 cartridges still to this day. Mm-hmm. Like, I had every friggin' console up until a certain generation. You know, I worked at GameStop in high school.
Roger that.
Roger. Pull that up. You know what angers me is I'm a skinny African, and that guy, like, I was one memo away from being that guy in the ad. Oh my, copy that. It's copy that. Oh no. If you don't know what we're talking about, we're playing it on the screen right now. So friggin', it's an EV Games app for Call of Duty. One of the Call of Duties.
I think it was Black Ops.
Oh my God. It's just two dudes, like a white dude in a suit and then a white dude dressed like a security guard running from a parking lot to a GameStop.
This is in Canada, right?
Yeah. So they can get their copy
Look,
of Call of Duty. They finally get to the store.
Whoa. Hey guys. Welcome to EV Games. Let me guess.
Call of Duty.
Advanced Warfare. Xbox One.
Copy that.
Yo, no, turn this
Call
off.
of Duty Advanced Warfare
no.
for Xbox One.
I had to quit the company after I saw that ad. I said, I can't be a part of this anymore. This is an atrocity. You do not like black people. Why would you represent us like this? To be fair, though, at the time of my life when I worked at this company, that nigga was me. So
Hey, that is you. Like,
stop exposing me, nigga. Go f yourself. Copy that. So look, I love video games. My credentials are there. I grew up with this stuff. And there was a point, there was like a couple console generations there. I would say like from like Nintendo, yes, because it really started to turn into something. But Super Nintendo is like hit its stride. Then we got the PlayStation, but I would say like PS2, like probably, you know, biggest console of all time. Somewhere around that time, games. You know how I am a nerd about comedy? Comedy is art, da 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 da. I'm like that with video games. And the only reason I have that sentiment is because the games that I grew up playing, some of my favorite games of all time, Shadow of the Colossus. Like these are literal like moving pieces of art, you know, like you couldn't make the argument against it to me at the time. And everybody liked to say video games aren't art and all this stuff, whatever, they're just entertainment or kids' toys or whatever. But there was a point there where the creativity was just at such a high peak. The games didn't cost that much to make because the technology wasn't so crazy. And so they were turning out really interesting, innovative, and I mean, looking back, a lot of the esoteric stuff, you know, like all the reasons of modern, like the classic films and all that stuff, they all kind of blend together. They take from the same ancient stories and whatever. But there was a point when I would say the 360, that was probably the death. That was the last console generation that I would say felt, I can't even say just on a whole, like the gaming industry felt super artistic as a whole up until that moment. And then the commercialism started to really drive home. Once Modern Warfare hit, Call of Duty 4, Halo 3, Gears of War, you started churning out franchises.
but I will say,
Yeah. They were great.
The first Modern Warfare wasn't our piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that was the beginning of that's like the peak.
Yeah.
I would say it peaked at the 360 era. I would even say PS4 had bangers, but to me it was fewer and far between, and it didn't feel like the gaming industry as a whole didn't feel special anymore.
Okay.
It felt like Sony and Nintendo were creating individual works of art here and there,
Yeah.
and Microsoft just committed all the way to, yo, bro, this is like brutalism art. You know what I mean? Like we're just going all the way commercial. We're doing pop art on the walls. Like they turned into Andy Warhol. And then everybody else is like, we'll do like boutique style stuff, but Sony's still a megalith.
Yeah.
But they're Japanese, so they have that like respect for, we make a video game art. I apologize, Japanese. But once video games started having $100 million budgets, once GTA 5, we're still on GTA 5.
Yeah, but GTA 6 is coming out soon. Next year.
We'll see. We'll see. It's still not
I
out. I played every version of... Dude, I bought GTA 5
like 3
on
times.
PS3,
Yeah,
on
same.
PS4, on PC. I don't have a PS5,
Yeah.
but like, you know, I probably would have had that $10 upgrade at least. Like,
No, that was a good game.
I like single player. I don't like what, you know,
The single player was fun.
The single player was.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. But I'm not going to buy it 80 times for single player. Now all they care about is the multiplayer because it maximizes profit. Because that's all this. We're just turning out sequels.
No. But you can't say GTA just turning out sequels when it's been 10 years since GTA 5.
Well, you kind of don't need to turn out sequels anymore when you created GTA Online. And that is lending to my point. The love of the actual thing
Yeah.
is removed when you inject more and more money. Always, point blank, period. Art is dead. The whole reasoning or logic behind that to me is we're talking about capitalism.
Yeah, but then you think of games like Red Dead. Same company. Amazing.
Yo, Rockstar
Red Dead
is
2.
Rockstar is a semblance of the old world, but again, we're talking about now Rockstar. What I was saying before was the video game industry as a whole felt special, felt like any moment some random no-name studio was gonna pop out from the corner and just throw a dope, not like little downloadable game like you can get now.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing people can really afford to make with love and passion behind it until, guess what? A bigger company like Microsoft comes by, we'll make a sequel to that and give you a bunch of money, and then, it's 50-50 at that point.
Let's make a hero shooter.
But like the industry as a whole doesn't feel like that.
Okay.
It's not all the companies turning out not just commercial hits, but also like commercial pieces of art and pieces of art like side hits. Like all of that is what I feel like has happened in comedy. Comedy is the biggest it has ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Every comedian I meet now is saying this. So we all acknowledge it. We all know there's more money in comedy than there ever has been. But let's actually take a second to acknowledge where that money's coming from and how to get it. Most of that money is coming from ways where you have to do the generic BS. Let's be honest. Where's all the podcasting money coming from? Let's do a MeUndies ad read or friggin' HelloFresh or friggin' doo-doo-doo. And let's send you this kit. And we got a friggin' VPN. And like it's all okay. And let's spend 30 minutes out of the podcast every week doing ad reads now. And then also that skews what you're gonna say. Can't front like it doesn't when you become beholden to ad dollars. I mean, even look at us. We're not even doing ad dollars, and we have to conform to what YouTube. We have to work with the algorithm because we still believe in ourselves enough that I don't think swearing less or censoring the swear words like takes away from our content. Whereas for some people it would.
Yeah, if that's what they relied on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's ultimately like, I don't know, man. It's once things become commercial, it's just whack. And that's what most of this has become. Am I off?
Oh, I personally still feel optimistic.
I didn't say I'm not optimistic.
No, I'm saying how I feel.
Okay, fair enough.
But I personally feel like, yes, there is more money, and yes, it is kind of going to the same people. But I think also now that there's more eyes on comedy as a whole,
Yeah.
that opens up more opportunities.
Definitely. And I think it's on, and this is why, again, I gotta salute Jeselnik. Because sure, it's great when we display how we feel authentically at our level, but it means so much more. It holds so much more weight when somebody like Anthony Jeselnik, who has been on JRE, who is currently on Netflix, who is in those upper echelon spaces, upper tiers of comedy, to vocalize these things, because that actually, how many other people feel like us, but they're not listening to us because we're also on the same level or lower or slightly higher, but like they just can't find us because they never will. But Jeselnik has his voice reaches a lot further.
Yeah.
And that I think has a healthier trickle down effect on the overall art form. You need to hear people in the upper spaces say that that's a thing that they hold dear to their heart, that this is whack, so that you can actually be like, oh, I have what did you just say? Optimism. I'm optimistic. I believe that I can still do this.
Yeah.
Like I've had to brute force it. And then it's nice when an Anthony Jeselnik, who I'm 14 years in, this guy's like 20 plus.
Yeah.
But he's not over a decade away from me. Like he's just around a decade away.
Probably, yeah.
So like within that time span, it just like, you know, it lets me know.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I am doing the right thing, not by following what Anthony's saying, but by staying true to myself.
Yeah.
It's a lot rockier of a road,
100%.
but the grass is, I think, way greener. and it's not even
Well, because it's actually grass on this side. On the other side, it's turf.
organic. Like everything's organic.
Yes.
It's not just like topsoil that you went to Walmart and just grabbed it. You know what I mean?
You missed the joke I made. I said it's grass on this side. It's turf on the other side. Because it's not real grass.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. I did miss that. I didn't even catch that. But that's exactly, yeah. Like, I wouldn't even say it's turf, bro. It's like,
No, it's because it's pretending to be grass.
I know, but I think that's even giving it too much credit. In this day and age, turf would be, I think turf would still be, you know what turf is in my mind? Turf is like going the Hollywood route in comedy.
Okay.
You're still like in the art form,
Yeah.
but it's like, yo, okay, you got your accolades, but how did you get your accolades? But what I think is happening today, as opposed to turf, is like digital turf. It's like hologram.
It's
It's VR turf. So you're not
VR turf, not even VR
It's
grass.
not even grass or turf. You're not even looking at. You're looking at an image of turf.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite lessons from art class in college. Like one of the first, it's like a super basic lesson, but it's like he holds up a picture of a cigar, and he's like, it's like a painting of a cigar or whatever. And he asked the class, everybody, what is this? And everybody gives their answer. It's a cigar. It's a picture. It's a whatever. But like most people at the basic level, like would say that it's a cigar or what the actual item is. And then the whole lesson is to be like, this is a painting of a thing of a thing.
Yeah.
Like just breaking down every layer of what it actually is. But yeah, anyways, you know.
This is Black Zeus, the podcast season 5.